Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The feeling and the ability to do it all over again. If I could say, if I could only go back and do that again, if I could just have known then what I know now, my life could have been so much different. How many of you have had that thought? I'm assuming that that thought is not peculiar to me or to a lot of you guys, because this is a thought that we're all gonna carry with us. This is a thought that we're gonna go to our grave with. This is a thought that we wake up every day living with. This is a thought that if you think it somewhere in your mind, you believe a part of it to be true because you brought it into your conscious awareness, into this present moment of reality, and you've been able to be a witness to some changes within maybe your character, your persona, your physical appearance. If I could only do then what I did now, it's almost like a regret. It's a looking back of what I could have been or what I could have done. And the thing about life is these reflections don't usually happen until you've had some time to actually live a little bit of life. The problem is, as you're living life, you're always trying to go somewhere. I remember when I was a little kid and I was in the grade school. I remember you were in the sixth grade, you were in a smaller middle school, you were in the seventh, you were in the middle, but at least you weren't the smaller, and you were in the eighth, you were the top dogs, but just to become the small ones again in high school when you enter the ninth grade. So these transitions of time were only ideas or concepts in the mind of what it would be like to be here. If I was only here, or I can't wait till I become that, or I graduate, or I reach this point. But all along the way that we're thinking and we're looking and we're seeing these points, well, life is unfolding all around us. Things are happening. People are dying. People are being born. You know, people are losing. And people are gaining. Life experiences are happening around for everybody. But to us, we're seeing an experience that has yet to occur. So we're living in regret in the present moment. Not regret of what we could have done. Looking backwards, it would seem like a logical sequence to somebody who has reached a certain point in their life where they could have that self-reflection. But living in a space where it's inverted. So we can't live with regret forward because we don't even have a word for that. But we actually do put meaning to it. We put meaning to it when we think what it would be like just to not be in the sixth grade and to be in the eighth, or what it's like to not be a freshman and be a senior, or what it's like to promote or move up in your job. All of these things are natural things that a person obviously would like to get better at, things that they do. But it's in the doing that we get lost in the meaning of the action that we're trying to accomplish. Let's take let's break that down a little bit. Let's imagine you're you're doing something extremely difficult physically. Maybe you're walking up a very steep hill. So when you're walking up the hill, the only thing you can do is walk, or not walk, or think about walking. And every step has to be cautiously placed because you're not on flat ground and you don't want to fall down the hill. So you sit there and you ponder the next step. Eventually you'll take that step. But there might have been more time thinking about the step than actually stepping. The actual step may have been a second or two, while the thought process to the step might have taken you 5 minutes. That's a pretty big difference in time. For the doing is fast. The contemplating, the thinking, the not being in the moment of just doing it is slow. This is not rocket science. And this is a very simple example to understand, because everybody at some point has had to walk upstairs, had to walk up a steep hill, had to do something that exhausted them physically, and they had to think about their next step. Life isn't too different mentally when you're thinking about your next step. When you're thinking about the life that you're gonna live versus the life that you are living. That's that step versus that thinking about taking a step. But that's transmuted into how you do things in your life. I want to make 100 podcast episodes. Last year I made 50. How can I think to myself, how can I make another 100? What am I going to talk about? How long am I going to talk? How can I keep your attention? Well, I just rant on to the same things every day, not get anything across that has any substance. If I sat there and I thought about it, then I probably would. So what I do is I just sit up, I get up the mic, and I start talking. I made a little rule for myself to keep the attention of people and to keep my mind flowing. It's a 10-minute wisdom talks. So I'm going to put 10-minute wisdom talks together for this next 50 episodes. I'm going to keep them to that, 10 minutes. They're all going to be titled 10-minute wisdom with different little wisdom points that can help you throughout your day. I want to give the example, then I want to give the answer to it. So we're not just dancing around an idea. I'm giving you practical solutions on how to actually change that. So we're going to get back into how we get from thinking to doing. Well, there's lots of things and theories and stuff that people can tell you. Some might say count to 3, and if you're not doing it by the time you get to 3, you're not doing it. Make it a 10-second rule. If you haven't got to there by the time you count to 10, you're not going to do it. Just get up and go. I mean, all of these things are just examples of giving you a trigger to take action. So the key word is trigger. You got to have something that is a little bit deeper that's going to push you to get up and do that thing in that moment when you don't feel like it. That's discipline. But discipline has to be stacked and it has to be layered so it can have strength. It needs to be enjoyable. This is important. If you're going to go work out, listen to some nice music. If you're going to go walk a steep hill, have some motivating things that are going to keep pushing you. If you need a little bit of bounce to get going in the morning, drink a little bit of caffeine. Live a little. Don't think, well, it's bad for me, and if I drink this in 10 years, I'll have a heart attack. Well, you're going to be awake right fucking now, so drink it now so you can live. Excuse my language. I was trying to make this a non-explicit. But some things, you just got to pull the emotion out of them, you know? And you just got to do those things. Everything has an action reaction. So if you're doing more actions, you're going to get more reaction out of it. I made a podcast yesterday. I had a podcast recorded. I hadn't uploaded it. I uploaded it yesterday and I made 1 cent. People will say, oh, wow, great, 1 cent. Yeah, 1 cent of action that I could have made 1 cent 5 days ago had I not sat on it. Thinking about, should I upload it? What can I call it? Is it long enough? Will people listen to it? That's irrelevant. My job is just to make them. People will listen as people listen. I'm going to try to make them better. Obviously, I want more people to listen, but I can't. There I am. I'm living my own. See how we do it? See how clever our mind is? My mind's about to say I can't do something. Of course I can. I can advertise. I can do things to make things listen, but the listening comes from you. Because when we speak, we're just saying things we already know. But if we listen, we might actually learn something. So, in order to make myself have more listeners, I need to make sure that my content is worth listening to. That's my main thing. Now, the other things I can say I have difficulty with, or I'm not the best at, doesn't mean I can't get better in this moment by doing what is required, and what is required is what I know, and what I know I can build on. And this is truth, and this is wisdom, and this will help you get from where you're at to where you need to be in this moment. Thank you so much for listening to my 10 minutes of wisdom, and I want to keep it to exactly 10 minutes because I want to be very consistent and bring some powerful, great content every day for 10 minutes. Thank you. Have a blessed and fantastic day. Until next time, take that action. Do it now.